Hello everyone, welcome to Success Strategies. In this video, I will be teaching on the strategies for managing crisis. In a previous video, we looked at what crises are and how we can better harness the power of crisis in a positive manner to support our lives. So let's dive into the strategies for managing crisis when they come. Remember that crises are inevitable in our lives. It could be financial crisis, it could be personal crisis, it could be a relational crisis, it could even be professional crisis. Crises are bound to happen. But when they do, one of those things you need to do is to first take a pause. Take a pause. Clarity is very important. When you sit down, take a pause, you keep calm, you are giving yourself an advantage over that crisis because you want to settle down and take certain stock. There is a proverb in my language that says that when an adult falls down, the adult will look back to check the cause of the fall. But when a child falls, the child looks forward to look at the cause. So when a crisis occurs, the first thing you need to do is to take a pause to get calm so that you can assess the cause of the crisis. Then another thing you need to do is to assess the damage. Take time. Do not grind. Do not move forward in that at that particular time. Take time to take stock. Just like I mentioned, that when an adult falls down, the adult will look back to check the nature and the cause of the crisis. So take stock. Look at what has gone wrong. Look at what has been damaged. This is very important way or strategy for managing crisis. You don't want to continue when a crisis occurs. You've got to sit down to assess the level of damage in that crisis. Look at what is working and look at what is not. Take stock. Take an inventory of what is left on ground. For example, if you have a professional crisis, for instance, maybe you are involved in a layoff. That job may be gone, but your humanity is still there. You may lose the job, but you have your endowment, you have your talent, you have your professional experience. There are other virtues in you. So one of those things you need to do at that time is to take stock, look at what is happening, look at what is working and what is not. Then you also need to stop magnifying the crisis. There is also a saying that there is nothing new under the sun. A proverb in the Yoruba language says that for you to say this thing there is nothing new under the sun, for you to say this kind of problem has never happened to somebody is a lie. There is nothing, there is no amount of crisis that anyone want to experience that somebody else has not experienced it. So stop magnifying the crisis. This is a time when you need to eliminate self-ruminating, self-depreciating ruminations. Self-depreciating ruminations like, can I make it again? Can I recover this? Can this work again? No, this will never work again. These are self-depreciating ruminations that, when crises occur and you entertain them, can be disastrous. As a matter of fact, some people cannot cope with this, and at the end of the day, you see them engaging in activities that is detrimental to their well-being, or even eventually lead to their death. Remember, Dr. Robert Schuller said, failure is not the end. Failure is not the end. It is an opportunity to start more intelligently. So you do not need to kill yourself because you failed, because you experienced a crisis. You don't need to take your life. You don't need to engage in activities that can compound your crisis. So do not magnify the crisis. It's one of the strategies you can adopt when crises come. Now, let's look at another strategy. Communicate transparently. Communicate transparently. Sometimes we find it difficult, communicating what has happened to us to people around us, most especially when there is a trust deficit. Most especially because there is trust deficit. Sometimes people you want to share your feelings with, people you want to share, you know, your your what is going on with you, might be people who will compound your problem. So sometimes you might be skeptical about this, but then you still need to find somebody that you can share your feelings with, that you can share what is going on in your life with. So communicate with those people. In counseling, it is often said that a problem shared is a problem half solved. Just practice it. When you have something that is burdening your heart, find somebody who is trustworthy that you can share it with. Just practice that. You will realize that by the time you communicate, by the time you share that challenge or share that burden with the person, you realize that it will usually look as if a load is taken out of your head. So when crises occur, communicate it clearly. It is very important. See, silence breeds fear. Silence breeds fear. When crises occur and you are silent, it breeds fear. And fear is an emotion that may not really help you during crisis. So that is why it is very important for you to communicate your for you to communicate clearly when crises occur. Then another thing is to prioritize and act. Another thing is to prioritize and act. What is of priority to you? What is most important to you now? And act. Recently, I read a book by T.V. Hacker, and in that book, he brought out a model on how to act. He used an acronym, TFA. T for thought, F for feelings, A for action, and R for result. In other words, if you want to go out of that crisis and you do not act, you are going to be stuck in that crisis. You are going to be stuck. So you can equally use that framework, TFA, thought. Certain thoughts will come to you when you have crisis. especially how you can get out of your crisis. Those thoughts are very important. You can put them in the journal. How can I do this? How can I get out of this? Those are thoughts. The next thing is feelings. You begin to feel that I can do this to get out of this. The next thing is very important. Your action. Take action. Then the next thing that will come is result. Result. It's very important when you have crisis. And this is not even limited to crisis alone. These frameworks works a lot if you want to get result. So focus on what matters during crisis. Focus on what matters.